Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
everyone. My
Yeah.
name's Michelle Doolittle. I'm the retention specialist for this campus and its programs. Thank you for coming to the event today. I do expect some people to be trickling in throughout, so just be patient and we'll get going here. It's a little bit out of order from where you guys are sitting, so I'm just going to let you know that up first is going to be our presenter, John from Global Mentorship Initiative.
Yay. Great. Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting us here. We're a partner with Bates Technical College. I guess I should bring that over here. And I'm delighted to share with you just a little bit about what Global Mentorship Initiative does. And we have a lot of partnerships here in the Puget Sound area. What we do is we help students get their first job through a very structured partnership, mentorship, with a business professional. We'll match you one-on-one with somebody for a short-term online mentorship, and they'll guide you through the structured GMI materials, all designed specifically to help you get your first job after college. GMI has over 9,000 students in the program right now, and over 8,500 mentors who work with students, many who work with multiple students. In fact, we have a great partnership with local and international technology companies like Google and Amazon, and Microsoft has actually given us 1,700 of their employees as mentors. And so they work with sometimes one or more students to help them get established in their first career job. Just a little bit about that. What we do in this very structured program is help you use, for example, artificial intelligence, whether it be ChatGPT or Copilot, in your job search. For example, if you want to find the jobs available for a specific job category at a specific company and who the hiring managers are, and then how to connect with those hiring managers, we use AI for things like that. Or how to write a social media post announcing that you've graduated and you're ready for your first career job. In fact, all of the mentorship sessions we have an AI component, and we have over 100 queries now that you can use with AI, all designed to help you have a competitive advantage for jobs. For example, if you want to know what are the interview questions that I'm likely to be asked at a specific accounting company for a specific accounting job, we teach you how to use AI to prepare for those. Not only to give you the questions, but to give you some good ways to answer those questions too. Interviewing skills is a big part of it. I don't know if you're familiar with the STAR interview method, which is a very specific way to answer a difficult interview question. And we teach students that so that they're more relaxed, less nervous in an interview, because you only need to be better than your competition to get that job. And so if you come into it a little more relaxed and prepared, you already have an advantage. We do work on, we have resume templates. Our resumes, though, are designed to be very effective for the specific job that you want to apply for. We have students that'll tell us, I sent out 30 resumes to 30 different companies, and I never heard back from any of them. And when we look at their resume, we find that they don't use the right keywords for that specific job that they're applying for. So we show you how to find the right keywords using AI or using the job description, and then use those in your resume, have a resume for that specific company, and then you get past the optical scanners that are looking for those words. If you don't have those words, you get in the reject pile. Your resume is likely never seen by a human in that process. So we teach you how to do that. LinkedIn's a very big part, and then I'll shut up here and we'll take questions later, but LinkedIn's a very big part of our program. We give you templates to connect with hiring managers, recruiters, or just people in the industry where you want to work with. And these connections today will pay dividends 1 to 5 years from now with job opportunities. And so, and then you also have the GMI network of mentors who will connect with you and create all these opportunities. So it's not uncommon for our students coming into the program to not have a LinkedIn profile when they begin, and then by the time they leave, they have 500 to 1,000 business connections, which will lead to job opportunities, informational interviews, all of these things. And then there's a bunch of other components to this, but it is a short-term mentorship. It's online. It's 12 one-hour sessions, usually 1 hour a week with the mentor, but you set the schedule with your mentor. And you'll get a lot of industry-specific knowledge, business connections, and we'd like for everybody in the room to sign up. So Christine, raise your hand, Christine. If you have questions about the program, and she's put some flyers on the tables, anybody at Bates Technical College can sign up for this, and then we'll be in contact with you and set you up with a mentor.
Nice.
There you go.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kevin Castellanos. I am the CSF coach advisor at Tacoma Community College and Bates Technical College. So a little bit about the College Success Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that supports students primarily in the high schools with college readiness. So taking students to college tours, preparing them for college applications, really everything that entails applying to colleges. I am actually an alum of the program myself. I graduated from Mount Tahoma High School, and I was a part of the CSF program. But as of the last 3 years, CSF has actually expanded into the college classrooms, and so here in the Tacoma area, we support I think 12 different colleges here within this area, and I'm lucky to be the advisor at TCC and Bates. What my role entails with students is really early on, as they're transitioning from high school over to college, is basically simplifying the whole high school to college transition timeline. So when are you supposed to be enrolling in classes? How do we even apply to college? The financial aid application is a huge barrier for a lot of students, so simplifying the FAFSA or the WASFA application for students, getting them connected to their TCC or Bates actual academic advisor. I always talk to students that I'm not their academic advisor, and so they still need to meet with them as well. And also scholarship search. A lot of students are obviously looking for scholarships, and so just to help pay for school. And so that's something that we're also able to support. And that's just a lot of the academic stuff that we support students with. Our role as coaches is not limited to academics. We have 7 life domains like perspective that we support students with, so that can entail like their jobs, that can entail like any sense of belonging opportunities that they want to get involved in, so any like sports or clubs on campus, but also things that may be barriers to them in a personal setting or social setting. So we also help students apply for food stamps or any other social issues or social resources that they need that may be issues for them as students. And so that's a little bit about the College Success Foundation. I'm the resource here at Bates, but also Tacoma Community College as well.
I'm Sandra Calvillo. I'm the one-stop operator for WorkSource Peers. It's a funny title. It means I am the head of WorkSource Peers. WorkSource Peers is not a building or a location. It's a network partnership of over 26 community partners, all focused on helping our job seekers in Pierce County to connect to employers and employers to job seekers. So we do a variety of things in our physical center. We provide workshops for resume and interview, which is kind of the basic skills. We have partners that provide support and services to individuals trying to get on a career pathway. We partner very closely with our local community and technical colleges, because what we do know about our economy and where it's going is that education is key. So it's great that you're here, that you're getting your education and the training that you need to elevate yourself, so you're not surviving but you're thriving. That's a principle that we have. We have career advisors that are there to help people map out career pathways, and then we also have our financial coaches, because no matter where you're at on the spectrum of income or where you're at in your career, we have found, it is proven, that financial coaches can make a significant difference in your success and your growth along the way. And then, we work closely with our workforce development board. Y'all probably don't know there's a workforce development board that identifies where our industries are going, who's going to be hiring, what it looks like down the road, far beyond what many of you are thinking about. As the one-stop operator, I still am customer focused. I still do resumes. I drive hard for interviews because resumes are great and they're to get you in front of the employers, but it's the interview where you win the job, and that's where we find that people struggle. I don't know how many of you like to stand around and talk about how awesome you are and what your strengths are. Most people don't, and it doesn't matter what age you are. And so we really drive hard on how to have those conversations and really win it over in the interview. So we definitely work hard with you on their front side. We also have our state and local partners. So we do have access to our DSHS partners, to L&I, which is Labor and Industries. Department of Vocational Rehab is in my office. And so we really try to make it's really designed so that once you come into our center, you don't have to go anywhere else to get those type of resources, because what we don't want is to send you to 5 different places to get the services that you need. And so the one-stop was designed to be an actual one-stop. You know, that's us in a nutshell. That's what we do, right? We are there to really focus on helping you get your job, and if you're on the wrong path, or if you're trying to go into a job that we know you're going to get laid off in the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to be honest with you about that, right? And give you some options. We use AI quite a bit, right, too, as well. We find that it's really beneficial in streamlining things and also identifying to help you understand how to talk about your strengths, talk about transferable skills, talk about the impact of what you're doing here and how to set you above other partners. I do train individuals on AI because my goal is to not do it for you, but to empower you to learn to do it yourself, right? And so that's really our philosophy, right? We're not necessarily going to do everything for you, but we are definitely going to help empower you to learn how to do it yourself so you can be successful. I always tell my staff, if we do things right, we'll be out of a job, because then people won't need to come to my center because everyone would be empowered to do this. We still have jobs, so we still have work to do, right? It's a very safe environment. We help individuals that are just as impacted. We help youth, adult, dislocated workers. We have a veterans representative that works particularly with veterans. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of right now. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move this down there. It's gonna be
Right. Any questions? I have several, so I'm just gonna give those time.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes.
So for these specific mentors, I guess the question was directed at you.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like specific mentors for different programs that you guys are in? So, for example, I'm in the machinist program. Do you guys have people that are actually from the machinist work environment that can actually mentor me in my specific program?
Well, we have mentors from all industries. We don't generally match by specific industry, and specifically because the skills we're teaching is not in that category, but it's how to get a job in general, how to build a network for a job.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I also have one more. Are you guys also available on this panel personally to talk about some of these programs?
Absolutely.
Too? And how can we reach you guys?
We'll get that information. We can put that information out. We'll make sure you have our information.
Perfect.
In the case of GMI, you've got a flyer in front of you there, which at least gets you to our page for Bates, but we can talk after as well.
And you guys said it lasted like 12 weeks, right?
Our program with GMI it's 12 one-hour sessions, which you can have once a week with a mentor. And you get one mentor. You're always working with the same person. Or you could do it every other week. It just depends on the schedule that you guys figure out.
Kevin, can you tell us a little bit more about how you can connect with students if you're available for them to meet you at TCC until we get a place for you here? How they can get a hold of you the easiest way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I also have flyers on every table, and it does say TCC on there, but it's the same for Bates information as well. My email, text is also on there, and we use a Calendly link where you can schedule an appointment. And so as long as you have access to that Calendly link, you can make an appointment with me. It'll show up on my calendar, and then I'll reach out to you just to confirm your appointment the day of. And I have met students on campus here at Bates, but I have an office at TCC. So if students want to meet me at my office at TCC, that's also an option. But I'm flexible to come to campus as well.
Do you guys have experience helping students that need a portfolio in digital media or broadcasting media reels that prove to the employers your competencies? Do you guys help them with that also?
It's not an area we focus on. Ours is basically in prep for interviews, connections, and stuff. I don't know if that's something the other folks do.
So it's not part of our traditional program, but I do help individuals do that. Yeah, so if there's one-offs that, that really want to start building that, I can help them with that, but that would be through me specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I would
But
say
it's a good idea for a program.
I would say same for us. Whenever students come with specific, opportunities like that, we as coaches work with them to find a network that would be beneficial for them, do some research, and our job is really to allow the student to be in the driver's seat, find some of those resources, help them, and kind of check in with them on like what's the next step, like how can I keep you accountable to like finding different resources and doing stuff like that. So not something we provide necessarily, but helping them like find those resources and get that help.
John, do you have any data based on feedback that you've gotten from students who have used the program that you offer versus students who have found it on their own?
Yes. In fact, so our program's global, so this number I'm going to say is global, but 74% of students have a job in their field within 6 months of graduating. That's the ones that, we survey after your mentorship to see how it's went and you have any suggestions. And then we also check in with you at 12 and 24 months later to see how your career is progressing as well. If you were just to search on LinkedIn Global Mentorship Initiative, you would read literally hundreds. We're well over 1,000 testimonials about the program, and you can kind of get a feel for it. What students are saying is that they feel more confident in their job search. They project more confidence to potential employers. And then they have this huge network of business connections that they can leverage to find the right job for them.
Thank you. Sandra, can you kind of share a little bit more of what a student experiences when they come in? How are they greeted? What access do they have? How does that work?
Yeah, so we're located at 2121 South State Street, just up the hill. We're literally 8 minutes away from you, so it's really great that we're close. On the 3rd floor of the large building there. And despite the fact from the outside it looks like a big government building, when you get on the elevator and come to the 3rd floor, our office does not feel like a government office. We're completely opposite of that, right? You're greeted by a live person. We get to know you by name. I always say it's like the credit union model, like your credit union always knows who you are and they greet you by name and they know you the next time. And then basically what happens is we identify through our conversation with you what services you really are looking for, and then we connect you with either the right program or the right partner to ensure that you're able to sit down and have a conversation with them. And then we try to, instead of sending you away and telling you to call someone, we try to help you on the spot, right? Because I always say gas is expensive and bus rides are expensive, and I don't want you to leave without being better than you came in. That's one of my rules. So we do try to connect you. We do find that most people that come into our center, sometimes it can take 3 to 5 partners that you're going to need, and you may not know that when you come in, but through our conversation we can identify how we can definitely help you and serve you in a variety of ways. If it's not a partner within our network, all of my staff have been highly trained in how to identify other community resources or other partners outside of our network that we can connect you to, and that means we may pick up the phone and help you schedule an appointment with them. It may mean that we email them on the spot or get you on their calendar, so we will schedule you with other partners that aren't technically official partners of ours. So I say every community partner that has an impact on my customer is one of our partners, even if you're not a formal partner of ours. And then, we have a resource room, so for those of you who don't have access to maybe technology or need to print information, or you want to come in and sit down and actually work in our resource room, we have quads of computers where they can go and work on their resume, check emails, do job search, and we have staff there that will help you. So if you don't know, you don't have to hesitate to ask questions. We want our customers to feel comfortable coming in. It's a very warm and welcoming environment. On some days it can be very fast-paced. For those of you who are moms, or if you have children are welcome in our center. We also have a mother's room and a quiet sensory room, so if there's any sensory overload and you need a quiet space, we do have a room set aside for that. And then we just get you connected. So it wouldn't be unusual for you to come in and have one question about something, and by the time you left, we've got you signed up for a workshop and talking to 2 other partners. Yes?
No, sorry, I'm stretching.
Oh, that was a good one though.
I think that these programs are a huge benefit to the students, and I just wanted to know, like, what can I do to help you guys get more students into these programs to have a better success rate at getting jobs outside of the programs?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are definitely an outside of the box thinker. So I always say if there's a need for us to customize a workshop for someone, if we want to do a group setting where it makes sense prior to graduation or prior to the end of a quarter to bring a group in, or to have us come out and I do a lot of work out on site, right? We'll pop up our laptop, we'll get the screens going, and we just kind of work one-on-one with people. I say think outside the box and tell us what you need and help us develop, and we can develop something to serve the students, because that is our ultimate goal.
As far as GMI, I would just say, if this looks like something that's valuable, in addition to yourselves, tell your friends at Bates about the program. And we're glad to provide any materials that would help you distribute the word about the mentorship opportunity.
So if I am signed up with GMI and I have my mentor and I feel like my mentor is not a good fit for me, do I get to switch mentors? And if I have gone through my 12 sessions but I'm not employed or whatever the case may be, is it a one-time event or can I come back through the program, or how does that work?
So it does happen that sometimes it's not a good fit between mentor and student, and so yes, we can rematch when that happens. It's not very common, but when you're working with 9,000 students and 8,000 mentors, it does come up. So we do know we have a very specific, easy process to handle something like that. Once you've completed the mentorship, you don't lose connection with your mentor. Although we tell both of you that you fulfilled your obligation. Thank you very much. People don't leave that relationship, and we've had so many, lifetime friendships that develop as a result of that. But you're also then exposed to the general GMI mentor population, so you're making more connections. There's not a need for you to go through the mentorship with another mentor. It's just building on the skills you have. But you do receive a GMI business mentorship completion certificate that many students, maybe even most of them, will post that on LinkedIn. And it's because it gives you a competitive advantage. We work with so many companies now around the world that recognize GMI as kind of that boot camp to hit the ground running in your first job. And so it does give you a competitive advantage when you post that certificate.
That's good.
So one last question. I encounter students who have different struggles, different barriers in their experience in college, and lately it seems to be technology has been a struggle. So can each of you touch on how you're able to help students get around? Maybe they don't have a cell phone, or maybe they don't have access to internet unless they're on campus. How you can still connect with them in a meaningful way. That would be really.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not unique for most of our customers to have technology issues. That's why our resource center is typically packed, right? When it comes to lack of access to telephones, we do have community partners that do provide cell phones based on, you do have certain criteria, but they can get you a cell phone and internet at a discounted rate to try to overcome that barrier. What I will say is, in today's day and age, although technology is fabulous for those of us who have it and have access to it, and we've been using it for a while, in our focus at Workforce Development is to remove barriers as much as possible. So we are frontline workers. We are face-to-face. We will meet you where you are. As a matter of fact, we are expanding and creating extension centers throughout the community. So we're in East Pierce. We will have an East Side, the 404, go 98404. We will have an East Side location, and we continue to expand to give people more access. So we would have laptops and those kind of things available, and we'll sit down with you and help you. The fear of you breaking the technology is interesting too when they come in, and so we do have people that will sit side by side with you. Come mid-year, we do have a digital literacy program, and not literacy in the sense of you don't know anything, but here's how we navigate, where they'll sit with you and actually help you fill out the applications, or sometimes they don't know how to set up their Gmail, right? Yahoo's not the best email to have on an application, so we try to get them to get more modern emails, and sometimes that's a challenge. And so we do try to provide digital literacy, to access to digital equipment as much as possible. You actually, if you have an interview, for example, that's a virtual interview, we have specific rooms where you can reserve those rooms. You can come in, we'll help you set up everything, make sure the background's good, let you do a test on the laptop so that you're prepared for the interview, and you'll have the private room to interview from. I had a gentleman come in this morning to do a phone interview. It was a straight phone interview, so we set him up in the private room. We had our phone there for him so he could complete his interview. So that's how we address that as best we can. Yeah.
If you've got access to a computer here at the college, that's all you need to go through a mentorship program with us. Regarding some of the tools that we employ in a job search, when you think about LinkedIn, it's not hard to set up a LinkedIn profile, but it's not intuitive on how you set up a really great LinkedIn profile that gets noticed by job recruiters. And so we have a tutorial that guides you through step 1, do this, step 2, do that, all the way down to what your photograph should look like, what the banner you should put behind it looks like, what your summary says that has the right keywords to attract recruiters. Because actually, the majority of recruiters, especially in the United States, use LinkedIn's recruiting application to search for candidates for jobs. And the way they do that is they type in, I want LinkedIn profiles with this keyword in it, or these 5 keywords in it. And if you have 2 of them, if you don't have 4 or 5 of them, you might be passed over for that particular opportunity. So ultimately, we want recruiters coming to you and say, hey, I noticed your profile, would you like to interview? And that happens all the time with our students. The same with AI. AI is complex. We show you exactly how to use it, how to ease into it, and how to use it for other parts of your career search as well. So we walk you through those things.
Yeah, I'd like to share, so at CSF, we have an emergency fund request that students are able to apply to once every academic year. The requirements are that they are enrolled, they're enrolled students, even if they're taking a break from school, like being enrolled isn't necessarily like a strict requirement. If they're taking time off, we can still meet with them regarding emergency funding once every academic year, and the emergency fund can be up to $500 per academic year. So students are generally applying for that. Typically what it can't cover is tuition, even though there's a lot of loopholes around there. So students can, technology is one of the biggest things that students apply for. So whether it be their phone or computer, tablet issues, that is one of a huge need that students have. I know it's not Bates information necessarily, but at TCC I work for the Center of Student Success and Cultural Support, and in that office we have a wide variety of resources where we're able to issue laptops to students or other emergency pools of money that we're able to connect students with, and those are things that I've had to look into for Bates as well. So it's not information that I'm unaware about. I'm able to connect students with some of those resources here at Bates as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys coming. Is there anything you want to add?
I'll add one thing. I'll plug your program, because I just want to say, sometimes for you and for people in school, the word mentor, like, it might not, you might like, well, yeah, whatever, what's a mentor? But I will tell you that mentors in your life, and you will have different ones along the way. I'm probably the oldest one in this room, and I still have a mentor, right? And along the way, they're so key and important, because they do pour into you, and there's things you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know until you have a mentor who's already experienced those things. And regardless of what industry they're in, they can give you valuable coaching and pour into you and help you to navigate the world a little bit better, right? And so I think it's so important that these programs exist. They didn't exist when I was in college. And right, so you can imagine how, it was very difficult. You couldn't find a mentor for someone in college, right? You'd go to your college counselor and hope that they were sharp and could help you. And so I think if you have an opportunity like this, even if you're a little curious, explore that, right? Because it can be the game changer for you in getting into this job market and really being successful. It's tough out there. It's competitive. It's not that there's not enough jobs. It's that the way people hire and recruit is much different than it was 10 years ago. And you have to have people that have knowledge to help you to get in front of that employer, right? And so having a mentor it can be really a game changer. And like I said, keep having them throughout your life, no matter how old you are, because they can pour into you. They'll also keep it real with you, right? Which your family and friends sometimes won't, right? And so you need someone that's going to help you through that. So excellent program.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just add that one of our measures of success is when the students that go through the mentorship program actually become GMI mentors.
Yes.
And we're seeing that more and more now. And I'm thinking of one of our students who was the University of California, Merced. And she was a great student, and she had a mentor in 2022. She was so qualified for accounting jobs, but just a lack of confidence and not knowing where to start. And what her mentorship led to was a job with BDO, one of the largest global consulting and accounting firms. And so she's now doing that in Los Angeles. Not only that, but last year she started her first mentorship of another GMI student. And it's that way of paying it forward that ultimately all of us want to do.